My name is Andreas Hau. I am the current program chair of the Emerging Media Masters, and I want to talk about the program with you. So if you've been in this room for a while, you have noticed that we've been talking a lot about the communications school. We are at the Glasnevin campus, and this is the Emerging Media Masters. In the next 15 minutes, I want to cover these 5 different areas. First, I want to explain what we do and how we do the things in the Masters. Then, of course, going through some of the course structure and content, what modules we have, what you can expect to learn. Then I want to discuss a little bit if you're a match for the module, then talk about our graduates, and then lastly, information on how to apply. So this is an image of the campus located in Glasnevin. And what do we do? First thing that I'd like to mention here is that we create things. There is a very important element, a fundamental aspect of this master's, which is this is a practice-based learning program. So there's a lot of doing things, doing stuff. When we get to the modules, I'm going to show you what practical production modules we have and the theories. So there's an of learning by doing, which is a key core fundamental of what we do. But we do things thinking about the people. Okay, so who are going to be using these things? Why are they using? What's the story? What's the function? What's the goal? What's the objective of the websites, the smart apps, the installations, the video games, and all kinds of projects that we have? So there's always this notion of a functional, a user, a person. So I will be mentioning a little bit what we have here in the school in terms of tools, but tools are secondary in this case. It's what we're trying to achieve here. So learning by doing, this notion of a practice informed by theory. So it hand in hand. There's the two really articulate and talk to each other. But then there's also the important thing, which is what we don't do. So we avoid doing the ordinary. We avoid, approaching things just for the sake of reproduction. We avoid the pretty but shallow. We avoid the notion of just creating things to see if they work. There is a sense of purpose. There's a sense of meaning here that really informs and orients everything that we do. So this is a full-time course. We are talking about a year long. And bear with me, we call it 3 semesters. They're periods, but we divide it in 3 different moments. So you would be taking taught modules, core modules in the first semester, accompanied so that there are 4 in the first semester, another 4 in semester 2. So you would have core and 1 optional. And then in semester 3, which runs during the summer, we're talking about from April to July, you will be doing a final project that involves a significant piece of media, multimedia, emerging media, and it varies quite a lot what our students do, alongside a written component. So these are the kinds of things that you would be studying. So the main function here is of this particular slide is to illustrate this difference between this notion of theory and practice. So on the left side, we have the list of our media or our production modules. So we have visual design, responsive media, imaging, audio and sound design, moving image, and screenwriting. And on the right-hand side, we have the more theoretical, where you get to know what is the state of the art, what are we thinking, what are the current important ideas in understanding social media, emerging media practices, media audiences and consumption, and social media structures, practices, and applications. So just to have faces to the modules, this is our current list of what we have in semester 1. These will be all core modules. So in emerging media practices with Dr. Declan, who used to be the was the previous chair, so there's a lot here that we owe to him. He would be talking about what is the current trends and ideas, and what are the concepts that underpin them. So this is a module designed to start getting you to think about what would be a final project, what would you like to do, and how it fits within the trends and history of what we have in emerging media. Understanding social media with Tanya, so there is some overlap with what you've seen if you were in the room here with what Alessio was mentioning about social media, but again, coming from this critical angle. It is not about learning how to be a digital marketer, but it's understanding the inner structures, tensions, and possibilities of social media. I will be teaching audio and sound design. Again, practice informed by theory, how to do field recording, how to do studio work, synthesis, what's the role of creating new sounds, how to make sounds for film, and that element. And then finally, imaging and design with Dragana, who is also going to be looking at production work, getting to the basics of photography alongside her own practice-led workshops. So in the case of the sound design and imaging, you'll be expected to have a lecture and then workshops where you actually get the hands-on. So again, once more, this notion of theory informing practice. Semester 2, responsive media, again with Declan. So you would be getting the inner workings of how to program responsive media, apps, websites, and all that deals with interaction between users and media. Tom, who you will be hearing from next, deals with the moving image and video production. So you have the three keystones of photography, audio, and culminates in the second semester with video production. So you would be building on your skills. Trish covers visual design, so all the way from photography manipulation, post-production, to more sophisticated visual languages and communication. And then Dr. Miriam with project plan and management starts to get the basics. That's when we start creating groups and students organizing themselves in groups and beginning to develop the idea of what will later come to be the final project. These are the three optionals. So you would actually be doing an extra module. You can choose between screenwriting with Ferdia, decades of experience. Again, a production element, so there will be writing and drafting of scripts and whatnot. Media audiences and consumption, understanding how media is consumed and how people understand film scripts and some of the key theories that underpin our understanding of audience theory. And then finally, social media structures, practices, and applications, which would be a further deepening of this critical view and analysis of social media. So by the time you get through with all the modules, summertime arrives, and then we move on to the major project. So that's where we are at right now. So at the end of semester, what do we expect? What do we think? What do we value here for a major project? So it's a new and original piece of emerging media. So this doubles as a showcase for later job hunting or funding, raising money. And so there's this very pragmatic element of learning by doing it, followed by a written component. So this is a 12 to 14,000 word document that works as an academic underpinning as well as a production report, because we want to know how, not only what you did and why you did it, but also how you did it. It helps explain and contextualize the project. This is a group project. This follows industry standards and best practices. Most media work is done by teams of people, so we also follow this arrangement, which is another reason why we do this full time. It would be it would be counterproductive to the part time, so we've adopted the full time. And deadline for submission will be July the 23rd, 2024. It varies quite a lot, and I was looking at some of the examples. But these would be some of the decisions and some of the things to consider. What kinds of projects come out? So we've had video games, we've had websites, we've had film, we've had interactive film, we've had all the whole range. So we're talking about screen-based media, or is it location? Is this an installation in a physical space? It can take many different shapes. So expect to be immersed in a wide variety of possibilities as the final project arises. Even though actually, of course, the users and the stories are the most important things, but we do have tools and we do offer the whole suite of production and facilities in order to create. So you wouldn't have to have access to this elsewhere. We have the whole range here. So we are talking about 90 iMacs that we are currently, we just got the new ones. So we will be installing them in the next few months. We have 60 PCs in 2 labs. We have 2 radio studios. We have a photography studio and a state-of-the-art media and TV, which I am confident Tom will mention next because it is it's outstanding. We have a few images here. The 2 in the bottom are from our first live broadcast, and it was actually inaugurated during the pandemic still. We also have hardware for media production. We're talking about video cameras. We're talking about a whole range of microphones, from 360 microphones, the 2 examples you can see in the images to the left are what we call 3D or 360. So you can actually record sounds within spaces or spatialized audio, but also with photography. We have VR headsets. We have the whole range of equipment that you will need to create your projects. And in terms of software, we also offer the full Adobe suite, the Google app with lifetime DCU email, unlimited Google Drive storage, and then Ableton Live for advanced sound design creation, including spatialized sound mixing and production facilities. So what to expect? Some of our graduates, who are they? What have they been doing? Instead of focusing on individuals, I would like to highlight that there are several different career paths. This is a very interdisciplinary program, so we do receive people from a wide range of disciplines. So the outcomes are similar. Many opportunities to figure out, many jobs, and these are just some of the few local Irish companies that we have graduates working with. So in an average class, so this is the 5-year average in a degree-related position, so 3 or 4 August just before handing in a major project, 8 or 10 would have found a related position by Christmas, another 6 to 8 by March graduation, and about 1 or 2 of our graduates actually follow up and continue their research into a PhD. Starting positions, progression, plenty of opportunities. So let me start to get to the final elements here. Is this a course for you? Is this the right thing, or what are we looking for? Backgrounds vary quite a lot. We have communications, we have artists, we have practitioners, we have media production, we have business, we have engineering, computer, back-end programmers, front-end user experience designers. It is quite broad. Making and creating from September to August. And then another thing that is really important is a teamwork. So you will be expected to do teamwork. The vast majority of production and all the modules are continuous assignments. The vast majority of the production modules involve creating pieces of media, either photographs, videos, pieces of audio, alongside writing. And a lot of this will be done in groups. So there is teamwork, there is this level, there's this requirement, this communication skill that is really important. So to wrap this up, an overview of the course structure and requirements, we are talking about 70 credits in course modules, all continuous assignments. So we're talking about production work, we're talking about written pieces, academic, formal writing, and the final project, which is worth 20 credits. So in total, 90 credits. The requirements, we're talking about a degree level, H2, or related professional experience. So we are also open to people who have experience in the industry. A portfolio or evidence of media production skill is very interesting. A personal statement and an English language competence if relevant. We also do have quite a range of international students. If you're interested, please, this is our website in DCU. We have the more details. We have the full set of information. And if you would like to know more, by all means, feel free to send me an email. And that's it. Thank you very much. And hopefully I'll see you in a few months.